Hello my dear friends and welcome to my channel. My name is Barbara and today we're going to be looking at Neptune in the 12th house. So this video is for you if you have Neptune in the 12th house or if you have Pisces occupying your 12th house. So very excited to be getting into this video. This video is for you if you have this particular placement or if you're a cross watcher, welcome as well. So what does Neptune deal with? Neptune deals with the illusions, the delusions, the hidden realms, the things you might not necessarily see clearly. So whatever house you have in here in your Neptune is going to be the area that you don't necessarily see clearly. So having Neptune in the 12th house, what does the 12th house mean? Same thing, very similar. The 12th house deals with all things that are unseen, the hidden realms, the psychic realms, the metaphysical realms, the unconscious of the collective of the people around you. That's very much 12th house energy. It can also deal with past life enemies and creativity. Now keep in mind, creative energy, psychic energy, and healing energy are very much connected. So when you have this particular placement, you yourself are going to very much have a healing energy. So you guys might find yourselves in situations where it's like you're in a dark and dense area, or maybe dark and dense people come towards you and they tell you all their problems and you really internalize this energy. So when you have Neptune in the 12th house, you're going to actively have to work at mastering this particular area in your life, because otherwise you guys are going to be prone to escapism, leaving your body. You guys might be prone to substances, drugs, substance abuse, things of this sort, anything that basically gives you a relief from everything that you guys are feeling and everything that is taking place. Usually when you guys are younger, you're probably not even going to be aware that you guys are taking on all these energies around you. If you guys are living with your parents when you're younger, you could be taking on their energies and the environment that you guys are living in. When you guys grow up, let's say you guys are living with roommates, or maybe you guys have a partner without realizing, and you guys are living with these people, you're taking on all of their energy. You're taking on basically everything that's taking place in their subconscious and in their unconscious. That's why a lot of the time people who have this placement can very much feel overwhelmed energetically, emotionally. You guys might not know what's yours. You guys might not know what somebody else's. You guys really take all these things. You're very much absorbing. You guys are going to be very much prone to enmeshment. So it's going to be very important to figure out your own energy and your own emotions and your own triggers and all these things, so you guys can at least separate yourselves from when somebody else's trigger is taking place and maybe you guys are feeling it and you're internalizing it. So a lot of the time that 12th house energy takes on a lot of stuff that is not theirs, partly for the reason that they are clearing for the other people. So 12th house people overall are energetically clearing things for people without realizing, especially when they're younger, because you guys are unaware, because you guys think this stuff is your own, but overall it's not. That's the whole thing to understand here. And this is why the 12th house spends so much time in isolation, or they crave time in isolation, or the Neptune 12th house person just might go off on a solo trip, or you guys might be interested in living alone for a period of time. Like you guys might just completely disconnect from society for an extended period of time because you guys are absorbing so much. Another thing that's interestingly coming through to mention as well is social media. So you guys might absorb a lot of the information you guys receive on social media. You guys might be curious because you guys want to hear people's stories and things like this, but overall keep in mind that no matter who you're watching, because you have Neptune in the 12th house, probably tapping into their subconscious, into their unconscious, and you're absorbing all of this. You're probably noticing things that other people don't notice. It could be things that they say, or most likely it's going to be things that they don't say. So with all that being said, overall you guys are going to be very psychic, intuitive, always picking up on things. This energy is always going to be a little bit out of body, and that's why you guys are picking up on so many things, because it's like most people don't necessarily even take the time to process their emotions, let alone their unconscious and their subconscious, right? So because of this, because of the fact that the majority of the population is very much in an aware state, you guys are picking up on all of this. And this is why sometimes for you guys it might feel like energetic overload. The whole thing with this energy here is really taking time to figure out a balance between being out there in the world, interacting, taking time to yourselves. You guys don't want to take too much time to yourselves either, because then you guys can go into the shadow of the crown chakra. That's the whole thing here to understand. So when we look at the chakras, the Neptune in the 12th house person is very much dealing with the crown chakra and the psychic gifts and abilities. And it's like if you guys go into like a fear energy, or if you guys maybe tap into even somebody else's fear energy, because you guys are so clairsentient, you guys can go into the shadow of the crown, where you guys might go into things like darkness, or just like thinking like dark things are going to happen, or even like paranoia if it really goes to like that extreme level. So what you guys are really meant to do is master this, okay? You guys are meant to hone in this energy. And also something that's also coming through to mention is definitely stay away from substances. Anything that's going to shoot you guys out of body even more is going to be really intense, because it's like the way that I see this energy, when you're someone who is psychic and intuitive, you're already a little bit out of body. So if you guys do any sort of substances or anything that basically shoots you out of body even more, it could literally even be things like breathing exercises as well. It doesn't even have to be like substance. It can literally be you guys doing some sort of breathing exercises and then it shoots you guys out of of body even more. And then it's like, if you guys are in the shadow of the crown, once again, you can go into the dark aspect of being a psychic person, where it's like you guys tap into the dark side of things, or you guys can go into the light aspect, but also it's shadowy because it's like you guys are going to want to be out of body even more. You guys are not going to want to interact with the physical plane. And that's the whole thing here. You guys are really here to master the physical plane when you have Neptune in the 12th house. You're here to take your dreams and your visions and all these ideas that you guys have. It's a lot of creative energy and it's a lot of creative power. And you guys are basically meant to anchor that into this physical reality. Now, doing this and going about this might be challenging, especially in the earlier part of your life when you guys are a little bit more unaware. What's amazing with the times that we're living in is that a lot of people are getting a little bit more self-aware. So it also makes it a little bit easier for you guys as well, because a lot of the collective, okay, is starting to tap into the dark side, into their darkness and all these things. And because they're becoming a little bit more aware, you guys aren't necessarily taking on all of this energy. Now, the best thing that I heard once from somebody else, they were basically saying, and this isn't an actual statistic or anything like that, they were kind of just giving the example of the majority of the population being unaware. So let's say it's like 90%, maybe right now it's like 85%, whatever. So a large amount of the population is very much unaware. And then you guys come into the picture where you guys are aware. Okay, so you guys are maybe that 15%. So you guys come into the picture and you guys are tapping into all of these things. And most of the time when you're younger, because you're not aware that you're psychic and you're tapping into these things, you guys might think it's your own stuff. So basically what happens is like you guys are purging for other people. You're processing these things for other people because you've internalized it as your own, but it's actually not even your own. So a lot of the karma with the 12th house, and it's interesting, I just recently recorded a video on this as well, is that basically you guys are a vessel to purge for other people. But when you guys become aware of this, you're going to have a little bit better of a grasp on this energy, where it's like you're consciously purging for other people and processing these things and integrating these things without actually being unconscious. And the thing is also, what I will say is like Neptune in the 12th house, all 12th house energy really is very, very good at manifesting. So you guys are going to be very, very good at having a dream and having a vision, but a few things can take place. First of all, you guys might not know how to go about this. Okay, that could be the first thing that takes place, because it's like that 12th house energy is very much expansive. Okay, and a lot of the time you guys don't know how to contain this energy. What might happen is like you guys might not know where to start. You're overwhelmed by like the dreams and the visions, and you guys might not know the steps to take in order to actually achieve your goals. So that could be something that does take place. But another thing that can take place is like, because you guys are psychically open and you guys might be absorbing the energies around you, you guys might internalize another person's energy as your own, and this could basically make it harder for you to manifest, because it's like, let's say you took on somebody else's self-doubt, or you took on somebody else's shame, or you took on somebody else's fear, like whatever the lower vibrational emotion is, and this was never even your own emotion, you know what I mean? But this could energetically be preventing you from manifesting. So what I will say is taking time to yourselves, you know, figuring out your energy, taking time to really, really figure out who you guys truly are, what your wounding is, and really taking time to heal, because this is part of the healer's axis, that 12th house, 6th house energy. So already you guys are naturally going to have a healing energy connected to you. And this is probably why you guys are going to basically bring through these people into your life without realizing that are dark or that have a lot of heavy things. And it's like you guys can get into these dynamics where it's like someone projects all their stuff onto you, but it was like never even your thing, or like the person wasn't seeing you clearly and you probably weren't even seeing them clearly, because maybe you guys didn't see that that person was wounded and that person was projecting a lot of stuff onto you. So it's a lot of enmeshment is really what that is. Sometimes I see the 12th house as like a spider web, and you guys kind of have to come out of that web and basically like untie things. It's kind of like a knot, you know what I mean? It's like you're untying the knot and you're trying to really, really get to the core of who you guys are, because at the core, you guys are going to be very, very creative. The psychic ability and gifts and intuition is very much connected to creative power and creativity. That's the divine version. Okay, so let's say you guys master the Neptune in the 12th house. You guys are having a healthy amount of time on your own and a healthy amount of time interacting in the world, because it's like you have to interact in the world to have some sort of experience, to take this experience and express it in a creative way, in an artistic way. It's interesting because it's even coming through that like sometimes people get trapped in being the wounded healer. You don't have to be a wounded healer to basically be creative, okay, or to be an artist. That's important to keep in mind as well. You can just be a creative individual from just experiencing. So that's the thing, because it's like if you spend too much time in isolation, you guys might feel depleted because you're not being creative. That's the thing. It's kind of like your own energetic fuel. But it's like if you're in isolation too much and you're not interacting in the world, you're not having these experiences that can fuel the creativity or inspire you or get that creative muscle basically moving. So that's the divine version of this particular placement. Okay, having Neptune in the 12th, you're going to be a creative. You could be into music, you could be into art, you could be into poetry. It really depends on the rest of your natal chart. You guys could also be a psychic, okay, psychic medium. It really depends again on the rest of your placements to see how you're going to be channeling this energy and in what direction you're going to be channeling it. But the main name of the game is to understand that you guys are a little bit out of body already naturally. Because you're out of body, there's a lot of darkness, okay, okay, happening on this plane up until this point at least, okay, because it's slowly starting to change now. It's starting to go into the higher vibrations. People are starting to process their own inner demons and all these sorts of things. But until that point, you guys were basically tapping into this. The way that I see everything in terms of the 12th house is that you guys basically want to develop a strong solar plexus chakra, which is your identity, having strong boundaries, strong masculine energy. That's the thing. We all have masculine energy within us, okay? So it doesn't really matter what gender you guys were born into. So with that being said, the 12th house is very feminine, okay? The feminine is all expansive and the feminine needs a container. That's how the two energies work together. So knowing this, you guys can create a container for yourselves, because otherwise you guys might attract opportunists. I say that a lot for the 12th house overall, because it's like you guys are gonna have a lot of creative power, okay? You're gonna have a lot of creative power, a lot of ideas. You're basically hooked into the other side. That's where the ideas come from. That's important to understand. Every idea comes from a higher vibrational plane, a higher vibrational dimension, and really the ideas are floating around because they're meant to propel the collective forward. So with that also being said, nobody's idea is actually their own. Something also important to keep in mind, but it's all about who acts on this idea. So if you guys are given an idea to do something, you guys are basically going to have to figure out a way to put this into action. That's that masculine energy. Like I was saying earlier, if you guys don't create this container for yourselves, which honestly in this day and age is extremely easy, way easier than in any of the previous ages that people have lived in, because we have the internet. There's so many available tools now to basically express your creativity. If you guys don't figure out a way to do this on your own, you guys might attract opportunists where these individuals could take advantage, and then you guys not maybe having strong boundaries or being aware of this energy, you guys could give into that person and give your power away to this person. So just something to keep in mind. I'm kind of just throwing things out there. It doesn't mean it's going to happen just because you have Neptune in the 12th house, but the most important thing to understand is that you guys are seeking a container for all of these creative ideas, and you guys are basically unraveling everything. And a lot of the earlier part of your life is going to be you guys basically taking off all of the other people's energies around you. Everyone's situation is going to be different, but because you guys carry that healing frequency within it, most likely, whether it's family, whether it's friends, whether it's random people on the street, whoever it is, you guys probably have absorbed somebody's energy. Even it could be like the neighborhood you guys grew up in or the city. Really depends, okay? Because different places have different vibrational frequencies, but you guys are going to be very, very energetically sensitive to the nuances of energy is really what that is. You guys can notice the most subtle change. And let's say someone's expression or their mood, and maybe once again, you guys internalize that like, oh, maybe I did something wrong, whereas it actually has nothing to do with you. That's the whole thing. You guys are hyper aware. You're going to be hyper on alert, really taking the time to develop that strong solar plexus, confidence, boundaries, knowing who you guys truly are and what your own intentions are, and just really taking the time to become grounded in your psychic gifts. It's kind of like an oxymoron, right? Because the psychic gifts are always going to keep you a little bit out of body, but you guys are actually going to have to focus on grounding and then learning to maneuver that, okay? When it's like, okay, I want to tap into the creative world, maybe you guys listen to music, maybe you guys go on a walk, maybe you guys do like a walking meditation, because I feel like for this placement, once again, with the energy of aggravating the psychic muscle, doing things that make you go more into the crown chakra, like things like maybe meditation could be something that could be challenging for you guys, because it's like you're naturally already in a meditative state where it's like you're already out of body, where it's like these practices, a lot of these things are for individuals who are trying to get into the psychic gifts and abilities. I mean, that's a whole video for a different day. So for you guys, it might be too much, okay? You guys might go too much into the crown. It could even be breath work, okay? Shoots you guys too much out of body. So with this, maybe really taking time to be in nature or walking in nature or doing like movement meditations where it's like you guys are moving, so you're processing the energy as you guys are moving, whereas, you know, again, being still in one spot could be challenging, but it's really, really going to depend from person to person. Overall, the whole thing to understand here is you don't want to go into too much of an escapism energy, and you want to learn to hone those gifts when you guys need to apply them for whatever it is you guys are trying to do, and figuring out practical ways to anchor these dreams and visions and goals you guys have in this physical reality. So with all of that being said, I'm going to wrap up this video here. I do hope you guys enjoyed my video on Neptune and the 12th house. If you did, please do like, share, and subscribe, and I hope you all have a beautiful rest of the day.